It's AEW in 2022 and nobody is safe. Bow!
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
Stay till the end for the B-side. AEW's tumultuous year continues, even during a week where AEW beat WWE NXT head-to-head. Tuesday Night Dynamite saw Dynamite's lowest viewership of the year and also its biggest week-to-week decline as the show was down 23%. This despite a lead-in from the Yankees Playoff game with an audience of just under 5 million. Amid backstage drama and a handful of unhappy campers who won out, add an unsafe working environment to the growing list of issues for AEW. This week alone, AEW had two separate injury controversies that raised a bigger question about wrestlers' safety within the company. Hangman Adam Page was knocked out by Jon Moxley, but this was a situation that AEW handled well. It was an honest mistake from a certified pro in Moxley, but referee Paul Turner and the AEW medical staff were on their game to get Hangman Adam Page out of harm's way. But given the growing number of injuries and incidents both in and out of an AEW ring, are all these motherfuckers in harm's way? Athena beat the brakes off Jody Threat in what looked like a late tribute to Antonio Inoki. If Jody Threat was a rapper in an elevator, Athena would be Solange. This is a good match to study for anybody who wants to know what Nicki Minaj is going to do the next time she sees Lotto. This match went viral and both Athena and Threat were pulled aside after the match due to Athena working too stiff. AEW has enough shoot fights backstage and now they're going to have to worry about people shooting on each other inside the ring? Looking on the bright side, this is the most buzz AEW's struggling women's division has had since the last time Britt Baker mentioned Jade Cargill by name. Despite its talent and depth, the AEW women's division seems to have one viral clip after another of an unsafe incident. This makes me terrified for Saraya, who has been all but medically cleared after suffering what was thought to be a career-ending neck injury. With injuries mounting and its training under scrutiny, AEW is going to have to be very careful on whom it pairs with Saraya. Serena Deeb is on that short list of a pro's pro who could take care of Saraya in an AEW match, and the list isn't much longer than that. Mind you, this is the same week Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa comes back from a serious brain injury. This is great news for my fantasy football team because Josh Allen is on a bye, but with the NFL under fire for its handling of the Tua Tagovailoa injury, it's only natural for AEW to get that same energy with its own handful of Tua situations. Looking at the bigger picture, AEW has disclosed 15 injuries in the past 6 months per friend of the show, Kenny Oliver. Despite Tony Khan's recent comments about AEW getting back to full strength, no less than 9 wrestlers are currently out with injury. AEW's balls-to-the-wall indie wrestling style is easy on the eyes for its hardcore fan base, but it's devastating to the body of the wrestlers, especially with a lighter schedule, which actually makes them more prone to injury. Tony Khan infamously praised his company for not being about centralized training all week long.
We don't train wrestlers from scratch here. It's a different business model. We're not as much about centralized training all week long.
Forget about a week of training. AEW needs a whole semester. Because it's one thing to be good, which a lot of AEW wrestlers are, but that doesn't automatically guarantee a culture of safety. That has to be created. Tony Khan's hands-off approach may be good for creativity, but that doesn't mean there shouldn't be ground rules as to what these wrestlers can and can't do in the ring. AEW's increasingly unsafe working environment isn't limited to in-ring injuries. AEW is also developing into a hazard backstage. Earlier this month, there was a very public Twitter beef where Andrade El Idolo told Sammy Guevara that he would see him at Dynamite. Tony Khan isn't releasing anybody right now and made it clear that Andrade wouldn't be fired if he got into a physical altercation with Sammy Guevara. Tony Khan essentially gave Andrade a pull-up on a nigga for free card. This after Sammy Guevara was involved in another backstage fight with Eddie Kingston, which came just before CM Punk was involved in a chair-throwing brawl with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks backstage at AEW All Out, one that literally put everybody and their dog in harm's way. Let me tell you, that AEW backstage reality show is being filmed about 3 months too late. Whether it's co-workers fighting backstage, stiffing each other in the ring, or dangerous spots resulting in injury, it's getting harder to argue that AEW is a safe place to work. AEW is not even safe to enjoy as a viewer, because the AEW supermarks have been known to call people's house or text their phone numbers for having the wrong opinion about a fake wrestling company that's really all they have. I mean, really, does any fan base need Jordan Peterson more than these AEW trolls? In fact, the only thing safe about AEW these days is the vault that holds Tony Khan's inheritance, and that needs to change real quick. Is AEW unsafe? What changes need to be made? Tell me in the comments. Next week, the IWGP and AAA Tag Team Champions FTR take on the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Acclaim. If the Acclaim win, they become the #1 contender for the ROH World Tag Team titles. Then, 1 week from Friday on Rampage, the Trios World Champions, Death Triangle, take on the ROH 6-man Tag Team Champions, Dalton Castle and the boys, with the winner to receive the new AEW Big 3 Tag Team titles. Then, 2 weeks from next Sunday, it's AEW Battle of the Belts with first-round tournament action for the brand new Participation Trophy Championship between Serpentico and Fuego del Sol. Then, 3 weeks from the last time Tony Khan subtweeted, it's Tony Twitter Mania as Sammy Guevara takes on Andrade El Idolo in a Twitter beef. If Andrade gets more than 1,000 retweets, his AEW contract will be voided. And during the buy-in, it's going to be the racist rumble as the AEW supermarks take on the bottom of the Star Wars fan base. The winning team will get to play Mario Kart with a pro AEW podcaster of their choosing and get invited to attend an AEW media scrum. Then, 2 months from the day he threw a punch at Matt Jackson, CM Punk returns for one night only to collect his belongings and leave AEW forever. Rumor has it Ace Steel will be by his side. We definitely don't want CM Punk and Ace Steel to be in a building surrounded by empty chairs, so visit AEWTix.com and see AEW live.